Hey everybody, this is Cresso. Hey, I'm gonna talk about out of body experience in this clip, and I've been seeing some clips recently uh, from two different sources. One from Raymond Moody, and one from Kelly in the Raw. And these two people talk about one Raymond. I put their description of their video to check out for yourself below my video description. But I was watching his video, Raymond Moody, about people's testimony about what the light is, and people feel such an unbelievable love, and how they come back into their human body that they just changed. They just have a different outlook on life. Now, I did a clip last year about the light at the end of the tunnel, one of my human journal series. But there's one clip from this clip Kelly in the Raw. She has a different take on it. What I gathered from her clip is that, and she had a body out of body experience, by the way. And the light is basically it's not what it seems. The light at the end of the tunnel. Um, it's basically, I'm gonna just give you a little rundown. It's like this: the light seems to deceive people. She was telling people, she's encouraging people not to go into the light if you ever had that experience. The light is basically used by some other entities, right? And it's kind of like they'll use relatives, that people that you knew, or maybe someone that you didn't know, but relatives that passed on. And it's basically to deceive you. And then when you go into that light, it's like a little detour that you're not really aware of, where your spirit goes, but then you're sent back to Earth. It's kind of like Earth is considered a slave farm. Now, I'm going to say this. In my background, if you look at all my clips, I did talk about I'm a reincarnated being. Okay, I came from a totally different humanoid race. Okay, part of my state of being as Cresso from a different dimension, I live a dual life. I live a spirit as a spirit, meaning my constant way of traveling is through out of body experience, and on the physical side, I travel through portal doors. So I'm really considered an ET in the human body. In fact, just to go over, in case some of you that's listening to my clip didn't really read about my background or hear some of my clips, but the thing with me and my situation, that I came into this body, okay, my spirit merged with a spirit that's already in place in this body at the age of, I was at the age of 5 or 6 in this body. So it's a different type of reincarnation. I basically selected this body for a reason, as part of my experience. There's different ways of reincarnation. I feel like maybe a lot of people are not aware of. ETs, I want to say this: ETs, other beings from other dimensions like myself go through very similar thing as humans. There is a tunnel. I did mention this in my clip. That the light at the end of the tunnel in one of my human journal chapters. Um, I'm gonna say this, and there's so much about life. I'm gonna do another clip about this, okay, on this topic. You see, I like both videos from Raymond Moody and Kelly in the Raw. They're both interesting clips, okay. But I gotta say something about Kelly in the Raw. This is her experience. She's expressing herself, and I wanted to put it out there that whether if you feel deceived when you go into that light or something, I want to inspire her or anybody that feels a particular way, is that everything is orchestrated by consciousness. Even those beings that deceive you, they're all part of source. There's really no victims. Whether if you're in this dimension, whether if you're in another dimension, the fourth dimension, fifth dimension, sixth dimension, whatever number you want to describe a dimension, there's really no victim. We choose our path. Okay. Uh, Source, I will describe to you, and I did my best in my other videos, but I feel like I'm gaining more and more insights from within source of life, what consciousness is. Consciousness is again, like I probably might repeat some of the stuff I say in my clips, but anyway, I just want to have a very loose conversation, and about this, what life is. You know, um, Consciousness is formless, even though consciousness could be formed physically. Um, Consciousness is built on thoughts, but it's a different level of thoughts. Okay. Uh, Consciousness is also, I will call it, a fractal of life. Consciousness has many different personalities. So your personality and my personality is all blended in from source of life. Consciousness spreads itself many different vastness of parts of life and everything. Um, you know, when I was listening to some of the people from testimony from Raymond Moody clip, I'm glad that people, consciousness in a human form is starting to reconnect to itself for what life really is. There was this one guy in the clip was basically saying that I was basically of nothing, but I know I'm aware of so much stuff. He understood about what life is. He reconnected to the true meaning of life. Um, and the amazing thing about the whole thing is that everything is possible. And I just want to. This is gonna be a short clip, but I will come back. I will make another clip on this topic. You see, people talk about on a Raymond Moody clip. I know I'm talking about both of these people, okay, and I appreciate them sharing and having people have their own testimony. The reason why people, when they have the out of body experience, how they're able to see or be at any place simultaneously, right? This is from the Raymond Moody clip. It's because distance. You could go on a distance, but you see, consciousness is everywhere. Energy is everywhere. When you're at a certain level or a heightened level within consciousness, every place that you consider far is all in one spot. It's like this. The concept of time, right? Everything's happening now. It's the now moment. But our brain is not going to completely understood that, process that fully, or understand it. Okay. So basically, when you're a spirit, you could be any place all at one time. That's what consciousness is. Okay. There is an experience that we could travel far. Okay. Yeah, that exists. But if you go to a much more of a deeper level, okay, much more of a deeper level, then yeah, everything happens now. Everything. You can be in many places now. Okay. Consciousness again is energy, as pure energy. Okay. Consciousness doesn't need a form, a physical form, but consciousness created a form or mold a form. Okay. Life is a continuum. Okay. And I appreciate the people that have their out of body experience, we call it life after life experience, come back and feel a certain way or much more of a different perspective on life. Far as Kelli in the Raw, her clip, I understand where she's going. She talks about this, behind the light or within the light, there's like black boxes, and each black box, for what I gather, it represents like a portal or some sort of dimension. But the thing I gather is that she feels like there's some other, the idea of other, and there's something out there to enslave you. I'm going to say this again. Again, I don't identify myself as human only. I am a multidimensional being. And I've taken in a lot what she said, and I haven't not seen that, or maybe I'm not aware of that experience when I came into this human body. Okay. I made the choice to come here. Okay. Uh, you know, I've seen other versions of myself. Okay. In a human body, though. But far as somebody to enslave me, if I go through that experience, it's because I allow whatever entity that talks about enslave me or put me back on Earth, as like Earth is considered a slave farm. You have to understand what life is. And I told you this in my other clips. Life is about allowance. There is no human. There is no reptilian. There's no tall whites. There's no grace that these beings that you seem to be familiar with in your dimension, none of these beings have any significant power over you unless you allow it. You understand, everybody? We seem to draw into drama a lot, okay? Because somehow it gives you a rush, an idea that you have to constantly look out, be on the lookout, or fight for something. And really, it's consciousness is orchestrating all that. But then you look at consciousness and say, wait a minute, how can consciousness allow all this? Consciousness is about peace, love, and blissful. Yeah, it is. Consciousness is about that. But there's many parts of consciousness. A lot of people choose on your ego level, you choose to ignore. Everything's allowance. So basically, no one is hurt. You're not doomed. You're not whatever, condemned or whatever. If you go into a light and you see something and you find yourself back on earth in a different dimension or whatever it is, it's because you choose that. If you see an angelic being that you describe, that's you. That's your alternate you, or you could call alternate version of yourself. But still, everything comes from the same source, everybody. In this dimension, this universe that I place myself that I place myself in, is a universe of duality. I understand. Everything's about duality. It's the verses, one against the other. And I'm playing along with that game, but I know who I am. I know life is changeable. I know everything's possible. Nothing's set. I mean, I am enjoying my freedom. I just, like right now, I'm sharing this to everybody. You know, I definitely go further in because I just have to. I want to make a quick video express this, but I will come back and talk about this topic. And I again check these links out in the bottom. Okay, check these two people out. Be open, everybody. Okay, I'm giving them props. I appreciate people giving out information. I feel like there's a reason why I run across this, but I did make a clip about at the light at the end of the tunnel. Again, I just want to say this before I close out. Humans are not the only one that does soul travel. Their soul travel is consciousness. There's spirits within every being. You understand? Within every being. Everything is about alignment. Even a spirit, sometimes a spirit is not aligned at a certain level, but that doesn't make the spirit lesser. Spirits goes through lessons too. I know a lot of people don't really talk about that in this dimension. I haven't run across that. But spirits goes through lessons too. Lessons doesn't mean that you're anything lesser. It's just that again, you are allowing certain experience to play out. Okay. But ultimately, look at it this way with a open just open yourself up and look at it this way. No matter where you go, whatever you feel something condemn, you will always be consciousness. There's really no danger what you go through. I know sometimes we in this human body, we feel like there's a danger, there's a sense of danger. There's a sense of danger. And it's like, yeah, no, everything's an experience. Everything. Remember, everybody, your consciousness. There's no outside entity. There's a separation in terms of you're doomed. Any being that tries to enslave you into putting you in an earth farm or as slaves, that's consciousness. You could shift certain experiences. You could change your experience at any time. You can change your experience. Okay, you're not trapped. Everybody, you gotta be the ego sometime, which is another. It's you. Your ego could suggest that there's something out you that's gonna do something to you, and you have to be worried. You're wise. Everybody, you're a wise being. You make your choice what path you choose. But again, ultimately, your consciousness, and that's a lot. That's basically everything. So I'm going to come back. I definitely want to talk more about this, but I want to do a short clip on this about on the other side. What's on the other side, and who you really are, and all that. I'm definitely going to talk about this again shortly. Okay. Until then, I will be back.